VERMILLION, Bob Nielsen's first recruiting class at South Dakota included a high school kid from Omaha's Millard North who looked like the kind of player who was going to prominently represent the Coyotes' next era in football. Based on the other schools from the Missouri Valley Conference who wanted him, Jake Matthew was one of the prizes on the staff's first signing day. He had been an excellent high school fullback and linebacker who likely would have gone to a higher level if he hadn't had torn the labrum in his right shoulder as a junior and the left shoulder as a senior. The parts of those 2 seasons that Matthew missed steered away the Big Ten and Big 12 programs that had been interested. The games he was able to play, though, made him look like an FCS bargain and plenty worth the risk. 18-year-olds who are 6'3", 235 and can run a 4.6 tend to keep football programs interested regardless of their problems with injuries. He redshirted his first year with the Coyotes, then blew out his elbow prior to spring football last season, tearing the triceps, ulnar collateral ligament and forearm in one fell swoop. He spent much of last year at practices playing catch on the sidelines with fellow injured linebacker John Wessel while plugging through a year-long recovery. "I'm at about 80% strength," Matthew said Thursday morning after practice. "The brace I'm wearing, they say it helps but I don't know," laughs, "I'm not sure it helps. They tell me to wear it and it looks cool." Based on a 320-pound power clean earlier this week, Matthew and his elbow are doing fine. Understanding that he's got some catching up to do, he's been getting a lot of reps at practices as the will linebacker in the Coyote scheme. He's busted his tail in the weight room. Defensive coordinator Brian Monson said, "He's 245 pounds now and he can run around, he can pass rush, he can blitz, all that stuff is there. It's all the stuff we thought he was going to do and he's actually getting to do it now. That's what's so exciting about this. He brings a different level of athleticism to that position. With the size he brings, he's just different than we've had before. That's what has been fun to see." The upper body injuries have definitely been a hardship over the last 4 years. The irony is that the 1 year he stayed healthy, he was not going to play in actual games anyway. It has given the Omaha native some valuable perspective on his level of commitment to see this through. "Getting injured really just shows you how much you appreciate the sport and how much you actually just enjoy going out and hanging out with the guys," Matthew said. "It's been a big blessing because I can take every rep and go at it and know that the next play is not guaranteed." The Coyote staff is hoping for a bunch of tomorrows beginning in the spring game a week from Friday, especially now that they've finally been getting a taste for what he's capable of accomplishing. "He's a guy that we had very high hopes for when recruited him 2 years ago," South Dakota coach Bob Nielsen said. "Obviously, he hasn't been able to fully participate until this spring. I'm sure he'll be the first to admit there is a little rust that had to get knocked off. But I've really seen some good things over the last couple of weeks that would indicate he's definitely going to be a guy who can help us in the fall." Matthew did his best to make sure his non-playing year wasn't going to be wasted completely. Following his friend Wessel's example, he kept up with the mental reps. "I got to see how such a smart, well-rounded athlete continued to learn even though he couldn't play," Matthew said. He kept watching the film. "Now I can see how Alex Gray handles it. He's kind of in the same shoes. He's a good veteran linebacker who is sitting out right now. I've got a lot of good role models. Even when you aren't getting the actual reps, you have to know what you're doing out there. Being blessed with uncommon physical skills will help in catching up. He's got to keep working on the little things," Monson said. "He has to improve his eyes, his vision, his understanding of our defense, his angles, his pursuit, his tackling ability, though, those things never went away. It's still there. He's done a really good job with that. That's been awesome to